And you're with your husband right now? Okay, what's the phone number that you're calling from? And is he conscious? And he's breathing okay? And what exactly is the problem? Tell me exactly what happened. And so he's passed out twice today? Okay, and is he bleeding or vomiting blood? Just let him know that we've got help on the way, okay? All right, I'm just going to stay on the line with you till they get there to make sure that nothing changes with his condition and they find your house, okay?
At first, I was scared to death, and I think everybody feels that way from what I've talked to.
You don't feel like you're fully prepared until you get the call that you're dreading.
We have to work at least 6 people on a shift so that we have 2 people to answer phones and then 4 people to be on radios. This is our telephone. So a lot of times we can find people on search and rescues by using the coordinates from their cell phone. This is abandoned 911. What that simply means is somebody dialed 911 and disconnected before we were able to make contact with them to confirm whether they had an emergency or not. We call them all back because sometimes their phone drops the signal or they may have an actual emergency. In domestic violence incidents, it's not unusual to have the person that's being violent take the phone away or rip the phone out of the wall. And if we try to call them back and we can't make contact, then we send an officer to that address.
I've gotten a lot of strange calls. I always joke and say, there's a lot of weirdos out there, and they all know my number.
A guy called in, starts out, I'm not drunk, I'm not high, I'm not crazy.
One time I got a call from a mom, and she said, I want to make a report my son has been assaulted. And I thought like a little boy, you know? And I'm like, what happened? She said that he came home and he had bite marks all over his entire body. And so I'm thinking about like bit at like daycare. Okay, how old is he? Oh, he's 17. Okay. Who bit him? His girlfriend. And so he had like hickeys all over his body.
We do things different than regular people.
I don't know if we become this way or if we just are this way and that's why we gravitate to this, but sometimes we have kind of a darker sense of humor because you have to learn to laugh at things that aren't necessarily funny, but you find the humor sometimes in the darker situation.
Over here you'll see all these numbers are unit numbers. Every unit is assigned a number. The entire county is known as 1 and each city is given its own number. For instance, for Salem it's number 15. It's based on when they became a city. And then the next character is J. Every county in the state is given a letter, our letter being J, and then the next characters are the individual unit's number. In this case, he's an American Fork officer in Utah County, and his number is 33, so it's 5J33.
I had a really scary call that I remember really well because it was a domestic situation where a grandfather had shot the grandmother, and the granddaughter was calling me from under the bed on the cordless phone, and he was looking for her, yelling her name, and he had the gun. It was pretty scary. I was pretty afraid that he was going to find her before the officers got there. Thank goodness that didn't happen.
I had a lady call once and she said that her husband was going to kill her and that he had guns and he was going to kill all the officers that came.
All of a sudden, one of the firefighters starts yelling, everybody out of the house, evacuate the house because the floor's collapsing. That's the first time I ever had to deal with anything like that, and just the sounds of their voice scared me.
Okay, what's the problem? Tell me exactly what happened.
I think my son is dead.
Why do you think he's dead?
Because he's laying on the bed and he's cold.
He's laying on the bed and he's cold?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to take a deep breath for me, okay? Okay. How old is he?
He's 19.
Whenever we get a fire or a medical emergency, we begin questioning based on the script that's been pre-written in these cards. And sometimes callers get upset or frustrated because they want us to just quickly get someone there. But we have to have certain information first in order to get them the help they need to the right location and get them the correct help that they need. Dispatchers are on duty 24 hours a day, weekends, holidays, 365 days a year. We're always here, and when a call for help comes in, we're always ready.